Joining us at the dais and ensuring that you extend a very warm welcome to everybody gathered here. Before we could proceed further, I seem to have mispronounced the lady's name whose voice started off today's program and invocated us into leading lights. So, ma'am, my apology to you. And yes, for the record, her name is Mrs. Usha Sridhar. I hope I got that right this time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we do have somebody special with us, unfortunately only omnipresent, although we would have wished for him to join us out here today and ensure that his presence would have definitely brought in some color out here. Nonetheless, he is with us with a guiding light, of course, and he has a very special message for you. So please do feast your eyes on our screens while we play to you, Please join me and put your hands together and welcome Shri Prashant Bhatt to join me on stage. He's going to tell us a message that we have by the Minister of State for Aviation, Dr. Mahesh Sharma.
A very good morning to all the delegates and dignitaries present here. Unfortunately, we could not have Dr. Sharma here with us due to a parliament session that just has begun yesterday. Nonetheless, we do have a message from him, and I quote, "It is heartening to know that the Airports Authority Officers Association India is organizing a seminar on indigenization of CNS infrastructure, quest for technological advancements and capabilities to meet global challenges, and is also bringing out a souvenir to mark the occasion of the second Communication Navigation Surveillance Officers Day on 25th November 2014. I am also happy to know that this seminar will provide a platform to enlighten and encourage our engineers and create a positive impact basing the growth story on development of CNS by India for India. Such endeavor help users, innovators, and service providers to come on a single platform, thereby creating uniform opportunity for a synergy of purpose. My best wishes for the success of event Disha 2014." Unquote. Thank you.
Thank you so for joining us on stage, and a special thank you going out to the Minister of State Aviation, Dr. Mahesh Sharma, for having taken time off and ensuring that he could say a word or two in regards to today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the inaugural address, please do put your hands together and join me in welcoming Shri C.R. Sudhir, the Communication Navigation and Surveillance of Operation Maintenance.
Thank you very much. Respected Chief Guest of the function, Program Director and Outstanding Scientist, Shri A.S. Ganeshan Sir, R.D. Western Region, Shri A.K. Sharma Ji, R.D. Southern Region, Mr. Deepak Shastri Ji, President and CEO Bayal, Shri Hari Marar Ji, Shri L.V. Sridhar, Project Director AOCCG, President AOI and Secretary AOI, dignitaries, delegates, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to be amongst you today when we are celebrating CNS Officers Day, and the Airports Authority of India or Officers Association is also organizing a seminar to mark this occasion. CNS, Communication, Navigation, Surveillance, the three strong pillars of aviation over which the air traffic management services are based on, to provide services to the air transportation industry. As we all know, air transport industry is very responsible for the economic and social development of any country. It's a very fast growing industry, and it creates so many opportunities for the country in way of employment, foreign exchange, social development, and so on and so forth. If you look back the growth of aviation industry right from 1977 onwards, we see the air traffic is increasing twice its size every 15 years. And it is ever increasing. So this creates lot of pressure on the ground infrastructure where we are providing for the safety and efficiency of air navigation. Now, to cope with the ever-growing air traffic, International Civil Aviation Organization has adopted new technologies in the form of Global Air Navigation Plan. And this Global Air Navigation Plan has been approved by the 12th Air Navigation Commission and 38th ICAO Assembly in Montreal. And thus, this Global Air Navigation Plan has come into effect from 2013 onwards. It's a 15-year plan, and it will continue further. Now, International Civil Aviation Organization has tried to give guidance for the states to cope with the ever-growing air traffic in the form of what we call ASBUs. ASBU stands for Airport Systems Block Upgrades. And the first block upgrade, we call it ASBU 0, has started in 2013, and it will continue up to 2018. That is, every 5 years we have a block. Now this is to primarily improve safety, efficiency, and economy of air traffic services over the globe. As you know, civil aviation is a global phenomenon. Now every country in the world should adopt to this new technology so that there exists harmony in air navigation. Now India, being in the Asia Pacific region, wants to be the leader in this particular new technology, and we have started implementing ASBU Block 0 very earnestly, and we have started many projects in this direction. If you look at the main objectives, it is global harmonization, increased capacity, environmental efficiency, and safety. Now, these are the prime concerns for any aviation industry. And India, especially Airports Authority of India, has taken major initiatives in implementation of these projects. To begin with, the main thing is optimization of approach procedures with vertical guidance. Now, many aircrafts will be flying into airports. We have many aircraft. The capacity of airport will be increased only by providing efficient services. Now, in order to prove this, or in order to provide this, we are entering into a new era of navigation, that is PBN, procedure-based navigation. So in order to assist this procedures-based navigation, the Airports Authority of India, joining hands with ISRO, has implemented the SBAS program in India called Gagan. And I am proud to say we are the 4th in the world to implement SBAS in Indian airspace. And SBAS system has already been commissioned for route navigation, RNP.1 operations. And we are working hard to provide approach services with vertical guidance. And we hope to certify this by the beginning of year 2015, maybe by March, April 2015. So this will help in providing PBN for all our approaches in all the airports over India. Secondly, we are also providing another facility for approach, that is GBAS, Ground-Based Augmentation System. As a pilot project, we have already implemented the ground system at Chennai Airport, and the test trials are going on. And we hope to commission GBAS for approach services in Chennai by beginning of year 2015. Once we see the performance, we try to implement GBAS projects in all other major airports to help multiple approaches for multiple runways. We have already implemented PBN-based RNAV1 seats, that is standard instrument departure procedures, and standard arrival procedures at many of our airports. The second aspect of ASBO is safety and efficiency of surface movement operations. To help this, we have implemented GCS, that is Airport Surface Movement Guidance Control Systems. Now, 5 airports have been provided with GCS, rather 6, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Bangalore, and Hyderabad. We will be implementing GCS in 5 more airports by 2015. These will be Jaipur, Lucknow, Ahmedabad, Guwahati, and Amritsar. Then we have increased interoperability, efficiency, and capacity through ground-ground communication systems. Now, this is very important because we are providing air traffic services and we have to cooperate with the neighboring FIRs. So for this, AIDC is being implemented. We have already tested the AIDC trials with Karachi, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Kuala Lumpur, and further tests will be planned between Lahore and Muscat. So AIDC is also coming in a big way. Then we have meteorological broadcasts. We have DATIS, that is Digital Air Terminal Information System, broadcast implemented at 46 airports within India. And we have also devolvement services available. And all these services are also available for aircraft through data links. Then flexible use of airspace. This is another major project which has been undertaken by Airports Authority of India under Government of India. Now, a high-level committee has been formed to use a harmonized airspace over India, that what we call flexible use of airspace. Reduced horizontal separation is another prime concern for Airports Authority of India to increase the capacity. So the horizontal minima has been reduced to 50 nautical miles, and plans are there to reduce further to 30 nautical miles. And we are trying to commission RNAV 5 routes, RNAV 2 routes between major cities over India. In order to have surveillance, the whole Indian airspace has been covered with radar and ADS-B coverage. We have 28 radars and 21 ADS-B stations installed all over India. So every part of Indian airspace is covered with radar or ADS-B surveillance. In order to have smooth air traffic services, we are trying to implement another project called Air Traffic Flow Management System, ATFM. Now, order has already been placed, and the central system is going to be installed at Delhi. And by 2015, we will be connecting the ATFM with 6 major airports, area control centers: Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Hyderabad, and Bangalore with Delhi in the first phase. In the second phase, all remaining airports will be connected to ATFM so that we'll have very smooth air traffic movement control over the entire airspace. So if you look at all these programs, the CNS infrastructure is growing tremendously, and we'll have more and more number of facilities being introduced. And we, the communication navigation system, surveillance system officers, to take this responsibility of installation, commissioning, testing, operating, and maintenance of these facilities. Now, this particular seminar intends to look at the indigenization of these services. And many eminent scientists, engineers, and delegates will be attending this particular seminar. And I hope we get a lot of information out of this. And I sincerely wish this seminar a grand success. Thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you, sir, for joining us on the dais and giving us your wise words. Ladies and gentlemen, and now to address the gathering, I would like to welcome Shri Hari Marar, the President of Airport Operations, Bile. Please do put your hands together and join me in welcoming him on the dais.
Good morning, everyone. Chief guests, dignitaries on the dais, friends. It's a pleasure being here today. Thank you very much for inviting me. Unfortunately, I wasn't prepared to speak today, so I don't have a speech prepared, but I'd like to share a few thoughts with you. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the organizers for putting this wonderful event together, and most importantly, for choosing a really appropriate title. The challenges that India faces are truly global in nature. If you look at the trip rate that we have in India, it is an abysmal 0.02, the number of trips that we take per capita. Even if you compare this to the trip rate that you have in some of the developing countries, like China or Brazil, where the trip rate is as high as 0.15, you can see that the potential for air traffic to grow is 7 times the current size. In US, of course, it's 2. So that's fairly a dramatic growth in the number of passengers. We see that over the next few years, passenger traffic in India traveling by air is going to grow dramatically. And that also means that the number of aircrafts that will be operating in the Indian skies will grow multifold. If you look at some of the Boeing statistics or the Airbus statistics as to the number of aircrafts that will be flying in Indian airspace, it's actually quite scary to imagine the number of aircrafts that will be traversing our skies. Obviously, this means that one of the most important challenges that faces us is building capacity. I think the civil aviation in our country is in good hands. We've got today fairly good airports. And the ATM CNS infrastructure is also being built up. I was very glad to hear all the developments that are taking place in the CNS field, as mentioned by Mr. Sudhir. This is really an encouraging sign because it means that we are well on our track to really building up the capacity that we require, the competencies that we require to handle the growing needs of the civil aviation industry. When you juxtapose this huge capacity building requirement with one of the other challenges that India faces, as many of you would be aware that one of the biggest challenges that we will face in a few years from now is going to manage the number of jobs that are required for the Indian industry. It's told that almost 1 million employable people are being added into the talent market every single month, which means that 12 million people need to be given employment in the next 1 year, and that means 60 million people more have to be given jobs in the next 5 years. That's a dramatic number, and we have no idea what the answers to this huge challenge are. Obviously, our services industry, which hires a lot of people, is going to take up a large number of those people. But one of the plans that Indian government has is to give tremendous impetus and towards the development of the manufacturing sector. And manufacturing sector is expected to produce a huge number of jobs that are required to absorb some of this talent. In light of this, I think and of course, if you just look at the number of engineers that we have, yesterday somebody was telling me that we have more engineers in this country than the entire population of Switzerland. So if you just look at the number of people that we have, in light of all that, I think the move to indigenize the CNS infrastructure, I think, is a fantastic move and couldn't have come at a more appropriate time. So I think this is the meeting of minds and the deliberations that are going to happen over the next few days or next couple of days, I'm sure will produce some interesting solutions. some practical solutions to how we can meet this challenge in coming years. As an airport, our support is entirely with you, and we would like to extend our partnering hand in whatever way we can to support and building up the competencies required for handling the huge challenge that we have ahead of us. So thank you very much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir, for your positive words. Ladies and gentlemen,